Hello, everyone. Sorry about being a little, well, if you follow us, so you know we're always a little bit late. Today's stream since, yeah, we're back. Are we wearing matching colors? Oh no, this monitor just sucks.
No, you're in more of a green. I'm in more of like a blue sea foam.
Yeah, this new computer's monitor has some issues on it. We
Hello,
look like we're
everyone.
in the same color. Oh,
Follow us.
hold on. I need to turn YouTube off because I can hear my voice coming through my
Yeah,
headphones
I
there.
had to turn it off too.
Okay, cool. All right. Thanks again for joining us today. We are going to be discussing some things concerning Eurovision with the national final season.
Yep.
Again, we are Lily Loves from the Eurovision Fam family, and I'm joined.
KPSC, also Jordan.
Yeah, so we're gonna be discussing we're gonna be discussing some things concerning Eurovision here. All right.
A lot has happened in the last like couple days, hours, you guys. Like we have a ridiculous amount of news that we probably can't even get to all of, especially in this stream, just because of how recent everything was. But we're gonna tackle as much as we can.
And because
So,
like oh yeah, and because we want to discuss things, we don't want to just say, "Oh, here's some news." We want to actually
mhm.
talk about what we bring up as topics. We're going to be pushing back Poland and Serbia to next week, just so that way Jordan and I can do some more research and get some more talking points going for those artists that are going to be competing in those two additional national finals.
Yeah, I still
So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and kick things off with UMK. They ended up well. UMK ended up. Actually, no. I'm sorry. We're going to kick things off with our site articles. This week we had an article on Eurovision Fam. So that's eurovisionfam.com. There's a link in the description box. And that article is going over basically an interview with a Eurovision fan from a non-participating country, since that's what we all are. We're fans from non-participating countries. His name is Juan, and he's from Guatemala. So if you're from Guatemala too, and you want to, find another Eurovision fan to share your experience with, I'd say go ahead and check out that article.
Thank you, Juan.
Yes, thank you so much again. And there's a link in the description box specifically to the article there. So we're going to go ahead now and move on to UMK. I would try to butcher pronouncing the name of the national final in Finnish, but we're going to go with UMK because I'm comfortable with saying UMK. They have announced the artists competing in their national final and the songs. I'm going to just go ahead and read through the song titles and the artist names, and then we'll go ahead and we'll discuss the artist. We'll talk about the songs next week since all the songs haven't quite been released yet. So we have Cyan Kicks. Their song is Hurricane. BESS with Ram Pam Pam. The Rasmus with Jezebel. Young Hearted with Sun Numero. I'm trying to keep my phone out of the thing. Olivera with Thank God I'm an Atheist. Then there's Tommi Läntinen with the song Elma Kanta Mua. Isaac Sene with the song Kumamoto Jaba. So those are our artists we have competing at UMK. Who stands out to you on that list there, Jordan?
This is so hard. This is such a hard question because honestly, okay, I listened to the back catalog of all of these artists just out of the sake of my own curiosity. But I could make a case for all of them, but to specifically answer that question, I think Isaac Sene would be my number
Yeah.
one, and that's only because like when I was listening to his music, like every song that I would listen to, it was just so different than the previous one. And the note here that I made is I almost want to say it's like psychedelic R&B pop with a rock influence. There's like a definite rock.
Oh, Jordan, are you? Hold on, Jordan. You're not there anymore for me. You disappeared from my screen. Bear with me here, hun. We'll be right back. For some reason, things went a little weird. So, back with you here shortly, guys. Sorry about that. Jordan, we lost him there for a second, so we're just getting him back up. Do bear with me while I do that real quick here. Come on, where was it at? Um, Sorry about those technical difficulties. Jordan, you're on with us
I can
again.
hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you too. So we're back to the way things were
Perfect.
before. Sorry about that. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, I was just saying how Isaac is my favorite because I hear a very experimental sound with him. Before I cut off, I was saying that he has a psychedelic R&B kind of pop sound, very
Mm-hmm.
blended style, and I wouldn't quite say any of his songs are similar to any that he or like I guess a better way I could phrase that is his entire discography that's available, or at least on Spotify, is so diverse and it's so avant-garde, and that's very appealing to me. That isn't the only reason why I think he would be my personal front runner. I also think it's kind of like his personal style
Yeah.
and his just general way of carrying himself as an artist that I think is just would be so unique for Finland. If one thing is certain, the other six acts, I would say we have seen a relatively like similar like semblance of like these groups or these kind of artists that Finland has previously sent in the past in their entire history of Eurovision. I feel like Isaac would be the biggest deviation from
Mm-hmm.
their tradition. And I also think I'm just really interested in him as an artist overall. So I'm excited to see what he brings to UMK with Kuamoto Yaba.
Yeah. I like Isaac a lot too. He actually makes me think kind of Prince. Like I'm getting
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that vibe with his personal style and the way he mixes musical genres. I
Hmm.
love the fact that he's visibly not ethnically Finnish and he's
Hmm.
singing a song in Finnish still. I think that's like it's a great thing to have in the contest, and in UMK in general. I'm also happy we get two songs in Finnish this year at
Oh,
UMK, because I have been on record as saying I love the way that Finnish sounds. I think it's one of the best languages to sing in, and
it's a
more people should
musical
sing in Finnish.
language.
It's such a beautiful, exactly.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like one of those things, and I would say he's probably the artist I'm the most excited for because we don't really
Hmm.
get a lot of music that uses R&B influences at Eurovision.
Hmm.
And I know with like the artists we're getting from I forget Jeremy's last name for
Oh
Belgium.
yeah, Belgium, Jeremy. I forget his last name as
Yeah,
well. He's
he's
also an R&B type of vocalist.
exactly, he is. So we're gonna get at least one of those once we get to Eurovision. When it comes to UMK, we don't really get that very often. And
Oh
so
no.
I'm excited to see what his song is going to be like specifically.
Mhm.
As far as like other artists I'm looking at, like he's probably like the name that I'm most anticipating seeing what the music's going to be like because I'm not sure what he's going to bring since he's so diverse with his genres.
Hmm.
I think the artist name I saw and I was like, am I reading that right? Was the Rasmus?
Ooh
I've
boy.
this is the second time I've gotten to get on stream and talk about back in middle school. Um, Back in middle school, I had a friend who loved the Rasmus. So it is a
Hmm.
band I'm familiar with. I do like their music, but I'm like, and I'm happy to see them at Eurovision. I'm actually happy to see. I'm not Eurovision. I'm happy to see them at UMK. Because we've been saying forever, Finland, send us rock. Finland, please, we need rock from you guys. Since I mean, their only win was with a hard rock metal-esque song. So
And their televote swings, their big televote songs are the rock
yeah,
ones.
so we like what was the what is it was Find Something Better by was that Finland?
Something bad. Yeah, that was Finland 14.
Okay, thank you. It was either Finland or Denmark, and I was like, I
Rock
like that
engine.
song, so
Yep.
my
Mhm.
guess is it's Finland. Um, yeah, like it's just one of those things where we see that, and I mean, like last year they brought us a rock number.
Mhm.
People loved it. I loved it. It was great. And they brought honestly they brought us a rock number I enjoyed in a genre I typically don't like. I don't like new metal for the most part. So that was
But
like an
it
artist I
was
had seen.
quite euphoric, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. And looking at that and seeing that, I mean, looking at this list of artists, they definitely do have some diversity.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of hype around Cyan Kicks.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I see a lot of hype around those guys.
and honestly, I like their sound. I'm anticipate. I hope her. I think I heard a clip of Hurricane earlier this morning,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Wow, this is great." Um, we've got like BESS, who's competing, as well. And do you want to talk about like what you thought of her?
Yeah, yeah. So I made notes here for all of the artists competing in UMK. So the note that I made for Bess is her music is strutty, dancey pop with a strong, gritty vocal in her lower register. I say the vocal technique kind of reminds me of Jessie J, but the production in her songs reminds me of Lady Gaga's The Fame album.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of really strong female energy coming through with Bess's discography. And it's really exciting because like Finland does pop, they do Schlager, they know how to make a strutty song just sound really good and perform it very well. I'm excited for how this is gonna be appearing on stage because yeah, I think she's just a very interesting vocalist and artist overall. We need to keep an eye out for Bess because we uh oh, sorry guys, I'm still more or less recovering from COVID. So that's that's kind of why my voice is all hoarse and I'm like blowing my nose and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for Bess because if she were to win UMK, that would also bring something quite divisive to Finland, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that they shouldn't be too scared of that.
Yeah, honestly, bring us something a little different, a little not what you normally would do, because that's daring and interesting, and we
Yeah.
always want more of that. Uh, when it comes to any song competing, I do think your description of her as being like Jessie J meets oh my gosh, like Jessie J meets
Early Gaga.
early Gaga. Oh, the Fame is what that is. Oh God, that is early Gaga. I always
Mhm.
forget like what year it is. I'm like, oh right, Lady Gaga just was a
2009,
hat.
I think.
No, yeah, 2008. I was in high school.
Okay.
Still, that was like when I was. I remember the band who opened for Gaga on that tour. I
Wait,
used to
who
love
were
that
they?
band. At the 2008 national final for Germany, and they came third. Their song should have won. It would have given Germany a much better place. I can't even remember what song Germany sent in 2008.
What
To be
did
perfectly
they?
honest,
Oh,
No
what?
Angels.
New Angel disappear, right?
I guess. I don't remember. Like,
Wow. We're gonna need to fact check this. We're gonna need to fact check this at some point.
we're going to need to talk about 2008 one day. Like, that's a whole.
Like in the off season when we have time to just be talking about old years, trust me, I have a lot to say about 2008.
Right. So, next one we've got another artist we have on here that we haven't really discussed yet is Young Hearted with the song Son Numero. Yeah, it's like country pop, I think.
Yeah, I want to say it's like I use this term to describe this genre of pop. It's not a term that's widely used, but it's like mason jar pop, you know? It's like kind of acoustic-y, country-y, like you associate it with like Twine and String Lights and like Live, Laugh, Love, that kind of just general vibe of pop, which I mean like takes on a completely different face in Finland than you would I guess say from like I the note that I made for this is I get hints of Vanessa Carlton with an early Taylor Swift production style just in terms of their sound, which is yeah, stomp clap hey, it's mason jar. It gives you Twine and like yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's a
has that
choice.
overall feeling pleasant. It's quite pleasant.
Yeah, it's very DIY wedding. Pinterest. Honestly, I have a wedding board on Pinterest, and I'm like borderline anti-marriage. So hey, we all do.
Hey.
So yeah, no, I get what you mean with that. I mean, honestly, Taylor Swift is a very popular artist. She's been very popular for a long time.
hmm
Um, A Thousand Miles by Vanessa Carlton transcends time and humanity. We all bust, except that piano. That piano.
hmm
That piano, when I hear that, I'm like, come on, let's go. Time to belt it.
Most iconic piano intro probably of the millennium.
Exactly. We're only, what, 22 years into the millennium? It's not going to be
Mhm.
topped, guys. It's not going to be topped.
Exactly, it's a
Um,
folk song of the ages.
then we have Olivera as well. I'm
Thank
looking.
God I'm an atheist.
There's a podcast called that.
Really? I wonder if it's inspired by that.
Maybe, I mean, it could be. Oh, or
Hmm.
is it Thank God I'm Atheist. It's Thank God I'm Atheist is the name of the podcast. By my audio uncles. That's a whole, anyone who knows anyone who knows one of the guys who does that podcast, one of their other ones, that they do, they'll be, oh yeah, those are the audio uncles. Um, yeah, Ellie Goulding is someone I thought of when I heard the vocal.
Definitely. Yeah.
Um,
Ellie Goulding and Jason was the note that I made
yeah,
here. Definitely like picking up on like an Ellie Goulding type timbre. That's
yeah.
very clear.
Oh yeah, and like the track is, got a lot of electronic elements to it, and that's something
Hmm
that's very popular in pop. I'm actually seeing that a lot in the national finals this year. I don't know if I'm
hmm
just picking it up more because I'm paying more attention to them with like a more critical ear than I usually would, but I am hearing very much that sort of a thing with what's been happening with national finals. So I am looking forward to like getting a good listen to the full track because I think
hmm
it is something I am gonna end up enjoying.
Oh yeah,
And
same.
and then the last person we haven't discussed yet is Tommy Läntinen. Um, Classic rock chord progression. He's a rocker. We always need
Mhm.
our older rockers to come out, and that's what he's bringing us. And I like that. I like that sound though. Still,
If there's one thing about this quote unquote older rocker in UMK, it's not like Danny last year where it was kind of like a pensive ballad. This time, like I don't know what the song is gonna sound like because we haven't had it released yet. But his discography, it's so good. Like I was listening to it and it's actually some really, really good songs with like some pretty strong hooks. Like he's very seasoned as an artist. Like he doesn't need practice. He already knows what his sound is, and I just appreciate the sound for what it kind of like authentically presented itself as on his Spotify.
yeah,
So I'm excited for him too. I'm excited for every single person on this list. I feel like
yeah,
this is going to be one of the strongest national finals of the year, and I am not kidding you guys.
yeah. I'm honestly so excited for UMK. I think that
Oh,
like
yeah.
looking at this lineup and looking at their back discography, guys, people sleep on Finland, okay?
Mhm.
they look at like Finland's flashier neighbors and they totally ignore how like great Finland is. Because I remember before I even got into Eurovision, I associated Finland with music still. Like it was just one of
Yeah.
the music and Nokia phones. Those are the two things I thought of when I thought of Finland.
If
And
any of you happen to be a Vocaloid fan back in like
Lloyd Tuba,
2010 and
yes, we
prior,
go with the leak.
Kievan Polka, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I listened to that last night, literally, and it's because you know why? Finland is a country of music.
Yes, they are. They
Always.
really are, and it's like that's why like I always say the language is the perfect language to sing in. Like
Truly, yeah.
it just sounds so good, and these artists for UMK, I'm excited for. I'm really pumped, and I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait. And next week we'll discuss the songs themselves as well.
Mhm. Yeah, once again, I feel like UMK is probably like at least in my top three favorite national selections. It's just so good, you guys.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to one of Finland's neighbors I had mentioned. We're going to go to Melody Grand Prix over in Norway. They've
Oh
announced
boy.
all their artists, but we're going to really only focus on, well, we're going to just focus on the semifinal one artist and their
Hmm.
songs because those have been released. And then we'll also talk about the auto qualifier who's going to be seeing tomorrow in semifinal. Oh, it's not semifinal, they're heats in Heat 1.
Yep.
So the
Heath, and then they move on.
yeah,
Hmm.
the pre-qualified artist is Elsie Bay. The
Hmm.
songs that will be competing at the first heat are Mira Craig with We Are Still Here, Frode Vassel with Black Flowers, Troll Fest with Dance Like a Pink Flamingo, and Elaine Noelia with the song Ecstasy. So let's talk about our MGP artists then and their songs. Like, was there anything that like? Well, let's kind of just go through each song individually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you want to kick it off with the first song you want to talk about?
All right. So Mira Craig, this was interesting. So like when I pressed play and I heard the duduk, I believe the instrument is the duduk. Like I was like, oh wow, this isn't like Kele Kele. This isn't like
Yeah.
1944. Like what is this? This is like it's giving me kind of specifically Eastern European ethnic ballad, but then it goes into kind of a like I don't want to call it a ballad per se. It's like more of a mid-tempo pop statement song. And yeah, like it's kind of an earworm if I do say so myself. Like the duduk at the beginning, I want to say it kind of like misled me into thinking the song was going to be one kind of way, but the actual melody of it, the actual lyrics of it, I'm glad that there was kind of like divided out because it does provide a very interesting story and it makes me really curious about what it's going to look like on stage because we have two completely different elements in the song, and I think that's just really incredibly interesting. What do you think of it?
So when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh, this is interesting," because like you mentioned
Mm.
the duck, and it was like, "Okay." And then we get this like percussion beat that the beat to
Yeah.
me sounded very Brazilian.
Oh
There's just
yeah.
something
Yes.
about it that made me go, "Oh, like this sounds like I've got Brazilian friends. This is something like one of them would put on, and then she'd start dancing around because that's what she does." Um,
Mhm.
but like, I was like, "Okay, the beat's making me think Brazil." And then like the lyrics pop in. I like her voice. That's because she sounds like Mira sounds like an alto, like voice is deeper, and
Very
there's a
deep.
lot of like really strong, powerful. You know, it's not like you're belting as you're singing. It's like you're just standing there and you're making a strong statement with your voice. I don't like it. It's hard. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. It's like I want to say yelling, but you're not yelling. You've just got like a strong voice with a lot of bravado to it, and
You could
and confidence. That's what it is. It's more confidence than
yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
And I found
Uh-huh.
that really striking. Then the song continued for more than 30 seconds, and
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's the same 30 seconds on loop for 3 minutes. Um,
Uh-huh.
that's my biggest issue with the song is that it's good, but it's so repetitive instrumentally and so repetitive vocally that I'm just like lost. Like I'm like, this doesn't. Is this the all you've got? Like, I, I don't. I'm not trying to sound rude. It's just one of those things where for me, I'm listening to it and I'm just hearing the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm finding myself getting bored. I feel like this is something that could lend itself really well to good, strong staging, but like as a song, it doesn't have the whole package to me. And when things do switch up kind of towards like the last third or so, it's like they're adding vocal acrobatics just because they're like, oh, we need to do something else.
Oh yeah, kind of just like as like a last jury poll kind of a deal.
Yeah,
I
but
can see, yeah.
yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like I would like some more diversity in the sound of it, because to me it's
Mm,
just the same thing for 3 minutes, and
yeah.
it my ear gets bored.
Mm. Oh yeah, I definitely pick up on that too. That's why I kind of said that like maybe the stage can give us like can grant us like that other element of it
Hmm.
because yeah, like aside from the end, aside from the duduk into the percussion, we do have that kind of like chunk of minutes where we're kind of wondering what's going to be happening.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, so I'm thinking if my ear is trying to like find something to cling to, that with good staging, my eye will not like my eye will not wander, even though my ear
Mhm.
wants to.
Yep, yep.
So the next artist I have on my little thing, or just to talk about, was Frode Vassel. So with Frode's song, I know he's done backing vocals for other Norwegian artists in the past.
Mhm.
Um, this one's also really repetitive for me. Like especially lyrically, I like the production. It's that very 80s throwback kind of polished, sleek soundscape that I like. But musically and lyrically, it's again so repetitive.
Yeah, I have to agree with you here. I'm inclined to agree with you because I mean like when I first heard it, okay, so when I was first listening to these songs, I was kind of like off like focusing on like doing something else and I was having them just kind of like playing in the background. I thought this was an ad. Like the first couple seconds of it, I was like, okay, this is a YouTube ad. I have to like go to my computer to skip it. And then I was like, oh, this is the song. And then as I heard the song, like I wasn't I'll be honest, I wasn't fascinated.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the lyrics, I don't know if it was the production, melodic style, the hook, but overall, it was just, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
leaning completely on the fact that we haven't seen it performed yet as kind of like a means of redeeming it. I don't like it as it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of like what would you even do with the staging on this one, and I can't think of anything that's making me go, "Oh, that would be
Black Flag.
interesting to look at." I mean, you can get some black tulips; those exist.
Oh yeah, make it camp. Like if you if you're gonna be like having this song, at least like throw all the props at us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm gonna reserve judgment, but as of where it stands right now, I'm kind of like looking at that one like with, okay, so it's gonna be not my personal favorite. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
So
reserving that one. Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about Trollfest now.
Oh
Um,
boy.
and thoughts about that. Do you want to kick off your
You start.
thoughts about? Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, you
I
start.
I love this. This is so up my alley. Like it is a folk metal song, which I love folk metal. Norway, you're one of those places I think about when I think about Norwegian music. I think about folk metal. I think about metal. That sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's like I don't know how to explain this, but when you hear a good metal riff on like guitar and on drums, you can like see the math that goes into it. Like when people
Hmm.
talk about, oh, you can improve your math skills if you learn an instrument. Yes, you can. And this kind of music makes me go, see, your math skills will get better. Just look. I don't know how else to phrase it besides like I love that sound. Like it makes my brain like think really fast, and I really like that. So I
Very rapid.
this
Yeah.
this is me talking. This is how I describe music. It makes my brain think fast. It's fun. We got like the more growly vocals, the more melodic vocals. It's gonna like appeal to people who like metal. It's gonna appeal to people who have more of a pop sensibility. It's and like they're Balkan. Okay, so I was like reading up on them, and they're like into
Hero on
Balkan.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, they're into Balkan music, and you can hear that still. It's like Balkan
Period.
folk metal. What is happening? Like, So much fun. I know because people look at the title.
That's immediately amazing.
People look at the title and look at the artist name and go, "Oh, they're trolling." I mean, yeah, they're called Troll Fest, but just because they're trolling a little bit doesn't mean they're not, bringing us a good quality song they're putting effort into. So I love it. Like I'm just.
I agree with you. Okay, my first listen to it, I didn't really think I liked it, but the second time around, I was like, "Wait, this is like riding a roller coaster."
Yeah, it's.
Like,
Did you
you
listen?
just have to like be into it, and once you're into it, you're having the best time. I think it's great.
Did you listen to their cover of Toxic?
I have not. I have not.
So on the Eurovision YouTube, on the Eurovision site, they're like, you listen to their calming version of Toxic by Britney Spears. I looked that up. It was great.
Oh boy, I'm
It's
doing that up.
it's so much fun. Because I love Britney covers. I love Britney covers in genres you wouldn't expect.
I love toxic covers. I love toxic.
Toxic
covers.
is such a good song. Like
A
I've
folk song
definitely.
in America.
That should be our national anthem. Um,
hmm
but yeah, like I really am looking forward to that one. Seeing what that's going to be like live. I just, there's more of them. There's more than 6 of them. So if they make it to Eurovision somehow, someone's got to stay home.
Yeah, yeah.
And then let's talk about the last competitive song in this semi, which is Elaine Noelia, and Ecstasy. Do you want to kick us off with Ecstasy?
Yeah, so ecstasy. How do I like think about this? Like I almost want to say it gives me a vaguely J-pop sound. The
Okay.
vocal very very challenging. Like I was like with
Yeah.
the amount of times I've heard this song, like how she jumps up, like the space between the notes where she's just like climbing up and up. Like this song is gonna be, it's probably gonna be the most challenging to sing of this night. And I say that with absolutely no exaggeration. The melody itself, I'm I'm kind of like here and there about because like you have like the chorus where it's like and then you move on to like the instrumentation, which is I don't even know what instrument that is. It almost sounds like a boat horn, but it's like
Yeah.
a beat drop. You hear a boat
My
horn.
my note says it's a foghorn on a misty fjord. Um,
It is like it hits you with a foghorn out of nowhere, and it's like, is she literally just gonna like drop it and like just start going? Because this is one where it's like I need to see the stage performance because I don't know what the sound is trying to give me. Like, what does ecstasy mean?
I mean, never mind. I was gonna say something. I also love this song. I adore this. I love Elaine's vocal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so interesting. Like, it's
Yeah.
like it's such a unique sound. I'm like, oh, I could like listen to this for hours. I love the weird foghorn situation. Like, I was like, what is that? And I was so excited because it was like when I'm listening to something, if I hear something unexpected, I go, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what is that? So then
It's like I get confused and then attracted the next second later. It's like,
I'm like, what is that? I'm interested.
what are you
What's going
doing
on here?
there?
Like, it's so good. It's like the like it's got that 80s electronic kind of throwbacky sound to it in the production,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of people do because it's great. Deal with it. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
like it, I'm sorry. Um,
That's pretty now.
yeah, it's very in. It's very like good. It sounds. Oh, it's like I think my note says this is some solid, sleek, polished pop perfection with a little bit of a unique twist. Like this is so good. Like I can praise. Like her vocal is so interesting. The song does all kinds of wild things, and if she pulls that off like live, girl, go. Like I'm yes, please. Like I'm so looking forward to seeing what this is going to be like, and I like knowing how the MGP drawings. This is why I'm going to just say this real quick. I don't like the way MGP is structured because what ends up happening is the 2 songs I don't care about in each heat go head to head. I'm like, okay, well, I don't care about either of you. Screw off. Like, I don't care. And then the 2 songs I actually care about are like the first 2 that go up against each other. And then I'm like, well, now we know who's gonna win no matter what. When you get to the second
Yeah.
duel, like when you get to the final duel, you're like, okay, I need UMK to change their structure because I'm tired of getting like 2 songs I really really like, and then losing both of them in the losing one of them in the first round. Like
hmm
I'm telling you right now, that's what's gonna happen. Is it's gonna be Trollfest versus Elaine, and I'm not gonna know who to choose.
Ooh, wait. Can we do those predictions too? Like
Sure,
preemptively
we
make
can do
some
those.
predictions?
We can preemptively do those predictions. So it's gonna be
Okay.
Mira Craig and Black Flower. But Mira Craig and I'm sorry, Frode Vassel
Hmm.
will be the first duel, like the first two names out of the hat. I'm gonna go. Okay, great. And then I'm thinking that I don't know who would win of that duel. Frankly, I'm not sure which one of those would win.
Me
Um,
neither.
I'm not really
And
sure
then
about that.
Trollfest versus Elaine, right?
Yeah, that would be the
Yeah.
second. That would be the second duel. And I'm like, come on! I want both of them to win. Can we not do this to me? That's gonna be my reaction on Twitter. I promise.
I mean, there's like a second chance thing that they're doing like at the end of all these heats, like they did last year. I'm pretty sure. Like, are they still
Yeah,
gonna be doing that system?
yeah, they are. I think they're
Yeah.
changing around the way the second chance round works, maybe. But again, it's going to be like, okay, great. Now you guys are up against each other, and then I'm going to watch that and go, I don't know who to pick. I want them both to go through to the final. And then if I have to guess which one of them would win, it's Norway. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know. It
exactly.
could either go
Yeah.
because like Elaine is giving us that like Norway has sent songs like what is happening Norway like Icebreaker. I love Icebreaker. I'm like one
Ooh,
of
so
the
good.
I'm
It was
so
my second place for a while.
Icebreaker was my second place that no Icebreaker was my third place that year. I was
Ooh.
shocked when it didn't qualify, but that's a whole
Honestly, me too.
that was a
The
whole
way Sweden blanked all their neighbors.
that was one of those songs because remember I was like ooh that's interesting. That's one of those songs I heard like ooh I like this is weird. I didn't know what that was gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
Norway is really good at doing that to me. Like, ooh, what's happening here? So I mean, I can see the Norwegian public going for Trollfest. I can
Mhm.
also see the Norwegian public going for Elaine. I don't know,
It can go
frankly.
either way.
All I'm confident in saying is it's gonna be one of those two who win this heat and go on to the
Hmm.
final.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, I think I agree with that. I think that would also be my prediction.
Now, speaking of people going to the final, we have our auto qualifier we haven't discussed yet.
Uh-huh.
And that would be Elsie Bay with Death of Us.
Okay. All right, so the death of us. Huh. This is the highly anticipated song. This is the one that on Twitter I've seen most discussion surrounding. So, how do you feel about the death of us?
I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I heard it. I was like, oh, this is why people are hyped, yo. Like
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
my reaction. I'm like, oh, the hype is real. It's great. It's like it's great. The only UMK songs I've listened to so far have been the Heat One songs and an Elsie song. It's so good.
Mm.
It's such a good, solid pop song that does interesting things with the production. And it's a ballad, but it's not a ballad. It's like it makes me think of like a James Bond 60s era orchestra theme song, but it's
Hmm.
updated for now. This is so good. Like
Yeah,
I
it's almost like a sepia like kind of feeling to it. There's like a classic, like almost intangible nature to this song
mhm,
that just so like it's so intimate. It almost reminds me kind of like of Tears Getting Sober or Growing Up is
yeah.
Getting Old from Victoria, how she had like kind of like a more intimate, stripped back orchestral type of ballad sound that turned out to be a hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. This song is like, despite not being like as forward and like punchy as the other, as like the other ones that are going to be performing tomorrow night. There's a reason why this is one of the strongest contenders and one of the strongest contenders for Norway, and it's
Yeah.
because the composition is just so expertly done. It's just
Yeah.
so beautiful to listen to.
Yeah. No, honestly, because you're saying it's very intimate, but at the same time, it feels very elevated.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, I don't know how to phrase it besides this is really good. Like, I understand why people are hyped for it. And like you mentioned, Victoria, um, it's kind of the same sort of a feel, but it's still completely
Adjacent.
different. It's still
Yes.
a completely different song. And like it's one of those things that I'm excited for. I just what is happening here vocally, like cuz I like her voice too. Her voice is very interesting to me.
Hmm.
It actually makes me think a little bit of Elaine's voice. Like the two of them have similar voices to me.
Pretty young too, I think. I think she's only like 19 years old. Or whereabouts. I'm pretty sure.
When she was born, what was I doing? She's 19. I wasn't changing diapers, shockingly, at that time. But
I was in kindergarten, I believe.
oh my God, Jordan! I thought you were older than you are.
I'm a child.
I feel bad now because I thought you were like the same age as me.
Oh. Yo, we're finding all of this out just like in the stream with all of you.
I'm so sorry. Like I'm like, oh yeah, Jordan's like 28. No.
Oh no. Like I am only 24. Like I am like high school class of 2015. Like that establishing fact right there.
I'm gonna be 32 in April. I'm gonna be 31 in April, guys.
Oh, 30's the best. That's what I heard.
Anyway. I have no problems with that. It's just a matter of like here I am finding out Jordan's way younger than I thought he was. Sorry. I'm sorry, we off a bit of a tangent there. But yeah, no, like I honestly love this. Like this is fresh, this is interesting. And while being modern, it's something that I think older people would also be a grab. Like when I say older people, I mean like people who typically go, oh, those young kids and their loud music. I don't understand why they listen to that sort of a thing.
You're thinking about ecstasy.
Honestly, both of them. Like, I love like both of those songs. I think they're so good. Like, it's one of those things where I don't know. Like, but I feel like it's one of those songs that appeals to everybody. There's something in it for everyone.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you typically lean towards. Like, there's something in it that's interesting and something that could appeal to anyone. And I like that a lot. So.
What I have to say about this song is I saw a comparison to Lana Del Rey's Young and Beautiful. I also saw a comparison to like another one of her songs, and myself being a pretty big Lana Del Rey fan, I do see where a similarity can be drawn, but I don't want those like two to be compared like so like staunchly as I've seen them on the Twitter timeline, because we get a very unique sound from Elsie. Like it is not just a Lana Del Rey derivative. Yeah. Like this is a song that, like, just because it's like intimate but like forward orchestral, she still has a completely like unique identity to kind of like her sound and her voice. And I think this song, if it were to win MGP, would give justice to MGP 2016, like Afterglow, if you remember that song, how it lost to Icebreaker. Afterglow was the one that like everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is our song, but that didn't end up winning. We lost it to Icebreaker. I feel like this is kind of like the revenge act of Afterglow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see.
Because of the intimacy of it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with that, and it's just one of those things where I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited for MGP this year.
I know,
like,
that's
I'm so
tomorrow.
Excited. Gosh, MGP is tomorrow. Norway.
You guys, so quick.
Honestly, if this is what we have to look forward to this year, like I said, I've only listened to 5 of the songs competing. Maybe Norway is going for first again, which I'm down with. Like Norway.
I mean, they have the capability. They just choose to make weird decisions. But that's all right because we love them.
Here's how I feel about Norway at Eurovision. They've given me my favorite Eurovision song of all time. And
oh, that's the one that goes dun 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 dun, or like
yes.
The one that you sent me from the 50s.
Yes, I love that song. It's so good.
It's under Solan or something like that.
Yeah. Lisa Cleveland. If you've never seen her cover of Feed You My Love.
Oh, the Norwegian cover of I Feed You My Love. So good, you guys.
Good.
You need to watch that. It's gorgeous, truly.
It's so good. And like she did it. We're focusing on this year MGP. Okay. But yeah, like honestly, I tend to like Norway at Eurovision. I think they're like the understated powerhouse of the contest.
They're like the dark, underspoken individual who like is powerful enough to win the whole thing, but kind of just lets everybody shine too.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think Norway has the most like last places somehow. I don't understand how that's possible. Denmark is right there. But
that is true. That is true.
But here we are, and like I think Norway gets overshined by Sweden sometimes.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah, definitely.
Norway is Sweden's cool, hot older sister. Who's kind of
Yeah.
gothy, like
Who
just a
doesn't
little
always come to
gothy.
the party, but when she does, like she at least like brought a bottle of liquor for you.
Exactly, like she's cool. I can like her. Um, but we've only got about 15 minutes left in our stream, and we need to
Yeah.
move on to Lithuania. The first heat of Pabadom ish Naujo was last week. And let's just kind of talk about that first heat real quick. The qualifiers were Erica Jennings, Augusta. Let me move this closer to me so I can actually read it. Augusta Verikaita, Urte Shilagai, Urte Shilgalte.
Shilagalita.
Thank you.
Shilagalita maybe.
Joseph June, Mary Mo, and Olonas Pokanevich. Um, Kind of thoughts about that first heat. It was it was a struggle to get through.
It was. You guys, like, okay, I mean, given the Roop is no longer competing in pin, we've seen them compete in pin for 2 years in a row, but I didn't realize that once we took them out of the equation, what essentially we were left with this year. I struggled to get through this heat quite a bit. And that's a challenge for me, especially because my favorite Babanda Mishnauyo singer, or like she was back in like Atrankas in 2016 with Leading Me Home, Erica Jennings. I struggled with her song a lot, and I didn't really like that. I didn't like how I wasn't grasped by that song. I would say I was more focused more so on like Urte's song and that performance, but overall I wasn't wowed by it. I wasn't really wowed by really any of these performances in this heat. I'm pretty disappointed, I have to say.
I thought Augusta was really good. That's the first song that went on. I was like, because that's kind of, I felt betrayed because I really liked. I was like, oh, like Pin, let's go. Like this is the first song right off the bat. I'm enjoying it. It's like a country pop rock situation. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was performed well, and then like it kept going. Like, and it's one of those things where I'm one of those people who I like the Lithuanian weirdness. Like you get like the joking about how it's like, what is happening here? I enjoy that. Like I have a high tolerance for things like that. And I was just disappointed still. Like, I mean, the thing I remember the most is someone cosplaying as Dante and someone cosplaying as Junko. And that, I don't remember the song. I just remember, like, the cosplay because I cosplay too. So I was like, okay, like, canceling my anime conventions this year again. So at least I get to see some cosplayers, I guess. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where I didn't really listen to any of the songs beforehand, because with a lot of them, they're demos, like at the stage before they're released, and I feel like the ones that are going through are still gonna have a revamp.
Demos, staging, and harmonies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Urte, you mentioned her performance. I
Yeah, the
think
ballad.
that one we're gonna see get switched up a lot. Come like Augusta, I don't really see changing much with her performance when she gets in the semi. Urte, I do see changing it for the semi. I think we're going to get a more polished, finished production version of that, because that's the thing I like about this national final is because things change between the heats and the semis. Like they take that opportunity they take that time as an opportunity to polish up the song and to polish up the staging. And that's one of the things I like about watching this national final in particular, because you're not set with what you're going to get when you get, like, you don't know what you're going to get once you get to the final.
It's a whole journey to the final.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I like watching it, because it's not like when you watch Melfest, for example. What you get that first heat is what you get.
What you're going to see in the final.
Exactly.
It's what you're going to see in the recap. It's what you're going to see unless they win and go to Eurovision. But even then, SVT doesn't change their stuff.
No, it's going to be the same exact thing you see at Eurovision. Yeah. They might take away a dancer if they had too many dancers beforehand. They might change the outfit.
Say more yellowy staging than the Melfest.
Yeah, they may change the outfit for the worse.
You may get a Street Fighter kind of outfit.
Oh God, why did they do that to that beautiful, beautiful man? Why did they put him in that outfit? It was not a good
His,
idea.
his styling was a flop. Like, I hate to say it, his styling was a flop.
It was bad.
Mm.
Yeah, no. So this next heat, did you have anything else to say about Heat One? Besides, it was
Um,
just
Yeah, not per se. I'm disappointed in what I thought Erica's performance was going to be. I was more or less surprised by Urte and that song. Like, I guess I'm looking forward to that the most out of these qualifiers. But
yeah.
other than that, oh, there's my cat Orion. Everyone, like, say
Hi,
hi. But
kitty.
yeah, he's gonna be causing trouble. But other than that, yeah, I don't think I have anything like lingering thoughts about Heat One. How about yourself?
Same. Like honestly, I would rather forget this heat ever happened. Um,
Sadly, yeah.
so yeah. So we have Heat Two coming up.
Hmm.
And Heat Two, the competing songs and artists are Victoria Kayokaita with the song Piece of Universe, Gabria with Make It Real, Clockwork Creep with Grow, Emilia Katauskaite with Illuminate, Justa Cloyelta with How to Get My Life Back. I wish she tell me how to get my life back, please. Um, Tita Sirbenes with Getting Through This.
Hmm.
Ieva Zasumoskaita with I'll Be There. Queen of Roses, Washing Machine. Cosmic Bride, The Devil Lives in Spain. Justin 3 featuring Nanart with Something That Is Natural. And Mosuex with Love That Hurts. On this list, I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what Gabria is going to be bringing. Um,
Yeah, Gabria. That's gonna be a
Gabria's
I anticipate.
sent some really
You
good stuff.
know, that sounds like it's gonna be a bop just from the title alone.
Yeah. Yeva's back. She represented
Mhm.
in Lisbon. She went to Eurovision.
No.
Was it Lisbon? Yeah.
Yep. That was in Lisbon, and she ended up, I think, in my top five overall. Like after the
Yeah.
year ended, like that song was just so good, so pretty, you guys. And I paid no attention to it, like when it
Yeah.
was competing. Like I kind of slated it, but I loved it. Like at the end of the day, I completely loved it. I love her voice. I love her music just in general.
Yeah.
And I think like she's one of the people that I'm most excited for, but she's not the only one. You were saying?
Yeah. I mean, those two are the names that stand out to me the most. I'm really looking forward to Gabria though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's just something I feel like I'm really looking forward to seeing what Gabria is gonna be bringing. I'm just looking at some of these song titles. Like, what is this gonna be? Like, washing machine?
I heard a little clip of Washing Machine, and I almost want to say it kind of reminds me of like a Maroon song. Like I don't want to claim that like completely, but I mean like the first flavor I got was like Maroon because
When you
she had a
said
on
when you
Eastern
say
European.
when you say Maroon and you say washing, like those two thoughts combined created something really odd in my head. Um,
Thanks for that. Wow, now it's in my
like that's gonna be there now. And I don't know, like The Devil Lives in Spain. I see that title. I'm like, what is that? Like
I heard a
the
clip of that one too. It was very interesting, and it isn't what I expected, but I think is going to be one of the strongest performances just from like the short couple seconds that I heard. I'm really excited for that one.
if that one wins and goes to Eurovision, will the Spanish fans be upset?
Well, I mean, like if Spain ends up picking like Terra, okay, we haven't talked about Benidorm yet. We will get there. Trust
Oh,
us.
Next week is Benidorm Fest. Like, because we have to talk about those semis before
I'm gonna
the
lose my
final.
mind, you guys. I
Yeah,
will
we're
lose my mind live on this stream. You will hear me say everything I need to say. But basically, like, long story short, there's a song Terra. If Terra ends up winning Benidorm and the song that wins in Lithuania is The Devil Lives in Spain, I think that would just be poetic justice in Turin.
yeah. But yeah, like I think that's pretty much how we're feeling about these
Mm.
three national finals we've discussed. We'll be back next week is gonna be jam packed, so we're gonna have to like
Next week is gonna get
stay
crazy, you
focused.
guys. I hope you're ready.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for watching.